All right. I have been done with Path of Exile for a while, but I got a spark of inspiration from Arrow here, who did a Bone Nova build. Now, he built his Bone Nova as supplemental damage to his Splitting Steel champion. So his Bone Nova is not the primary damage dealer. I decided, since I already had all the cooldown reduction gear, because I've been doing cooldown reduction builds this entire league, that I would try to see if I can get Bone Nova to be the primary damage dealer. So I'm taking a different spin on this, and I'm going Scion with Saboteur and some cooldown reduction gear to get that Bone Nova to proc more frequently. I'll run the same boss that he just ran here, and you can take a look. He's wrecking it. His build actually works, where mine probably won't. I haven't really played it much. I did one map, and it breezed through the map just fine. So we'll see what it does on this boss. I think he's at a fast speed. Go check his video out.
So, what is Bone Nova? Bone Nova.
What is Bone Nova indeed? You can listen to him tell you what Bone Nova is. I will just run the same boss he did. I don't know what if he rarified his boss or not. Let's see how using... Now, my Cyclone pretty much only has support gems in it. Increased AoE, chance to bleed. It's not doing any damage, really. Probably 10% of the damage is coming from Cyclone. It is all the Bone Nova. And as you can see, I think his build was in fast forward. But even so, his build was doing way more damage because it had Splitting Steel as the damage dealer instead of Bone Nova. Now, I think I forgot how to fight this guy. So I gotta kind of try to remember when he gets mad and does the big I'm gonna kill you explosion. Is that Annihilation? No. Annihilation's fine. Incineration is the dangerous one. It's a little slow. It's a little slow. It's kind of working, but it's definitely not meta material. This is beta material here. It's a beta skill. But any of you meta cucks, you've already gotten your explodey totem build set up. All your stuff's already done. This is for the hipsters. This is for the memers. Being a hipster and a memer is way more interesting than... Oh, I got ignited. I do not have ignite immunity. I didn't really do a good job in setting this build together. There's no ignite immunity, obviously. I don't have bleed immunity. Kind of just gonna let everything kill me. Now, if I could switch my curse. I already had the ring to give me free vulnerability, so that's why I'm using vulnerability, but Sniper's Mark might be nicer. I really hate damage over time. I just can't pay attention enough to see it killing me. I just really wish every game would just get rid of it. I was hoping that Diablo 4 would be the king. The shining example of how to build an RPG, an ARPG, but no. Diablo 4, damage over time on the ground out the wazoo. I don't even have a life potion to stop that ignite. Diablo 4, damage over time out the wazoo. CC everywhere. That's not how to build a fun and functional ARPG. Hopefully they'll fix it by the time it gets to Seasons. And they can do some pretty simple changes to make that better, especially the damage over time on the ground and the after death effects. Damage over time on the ground, they can just, you know, enable like a little flashy thing without ignite immunity. I think that ignites every time. I'm gonna have to dodge every one of those balls or put on an ignite flask, ignite immunity flask, and I ain't gonna do that. I'm just gonna try to power through. I mean, you saw the damage. You just pretend that I'm immune to ignite, and then we can just proceed. I'm pretty sure I'll still get the W if you count dying 20 times while fighting the boss at W. Cleansing. I would like more Bone Nova than this. Obviously, I can go Saboteur, but the Saboteur is just not going to work all by itself with this Bone Zone. I can switch my body armor, but I think it'll be too flimsy if I use the replica Shroud of the Lightless with a bunch of cooldown reduction jewels in it. I don't think that's even going to do it. And I think the damage I get from the crit chance, attack crit chance, is just higher in general. Great, great, great. I'll just let him kill me. Hang out, drink my coffee. Let his balls finish going. Yeah, without Ignite immunity, this is too much for me. I'm too much of a spaz. Not good enough with the mechanics. Alright. Your balls done? Your balls are done. Let's, but I got one portal left. Am I going to get it in one portal? All depends on whether he goes to the ball zone. That's Path of Exile for you. Had to give that one a triple snap. Alright, so the damage using just Bone Zone, not good enough. Obviously, my gear is not fully optimized for Bone Zone. For Bone Zone, I'm going to call it Bone Zone forever, ain't I? There's just no way I'm going to call it Bone Nova. So when I say Bone Zone, I mean Bone Nova, because I'm never going to say Bone Over. I'm going to say Bone Zone. We got critical damage, we got critical strike, we got maim, vicious projectiles, impel, and awaken brutality. For the Cyclone, we have divergent area of effect, pulverize, cruelty, chance to bleed, and rage. I'm doing cruelty and rage. Rage obviously give me rage, so I go faster. Cruelty to hopefully maybe pump up the Novas. If I wanted this to be a better build, I would actually just do what Arrow did and play Splitting Steel, but I want to see what Bone Nova can do all on its own. For bossing, it ain't it. It ain't it, Chief. Now, maybe if I got Ignite immunity, let's see if I have that other boss that I use for my DPS check. No. I do got one of these, though. Let's run this boss instead. See what happens when I run this boss. This boss doesn't ignite, so should be a lot easier. Oh yeah, that damage is maybe a million, maybe between 1 million and 2 million, I think. Which is supplemental damage is actually pretty good, but no matter what you do, you're stuck with the low damage of the axe. So unless you got a very nicely rolled axe, which I guess this axe is rare now, if you got a very nicely rolled axe, maybe this has some type of viability as the sub-meta, like right underneath meta. Not good enough to meta, but you can sub-meta this. A little beta build. And obviously, if you fine-tune it a little bit, my gear is just slapped together with a bunch of different shit. It's good gear, but it's not, like, highly catered to this kind of a build. I'm using Cyclone for the mobility and the fact it's going to be the thing that procs the Bone Nova as quickly as possible. There's no other skill that's really going to proc it as efficiently as Cyclone. And I really like when people like, oh, another Cyclone build. So, you know, I trigger some people at the same time. I think next league, I'm going to try Heavy Strike from start. I'm just going to pump Heavy Strike as much as possible. Obviously, it depends on the patch notes. If the patch notes have something interesting in it, I won't be doing Heavy Strike. but it has been a hot minute since I played Heavy Strike. And I forget the guy's name. The dreadlock hippie dude did a stun thing where he was showing how much stun and how broken stun is. Not in a good manner, in a functionality manner. Stun is just janky. It doesn't work properly. Sometimes you'll stun for 1 second. Sometimes you'll stun for 50 seconds. And it seems like it's almost random on what your stun values are going to be. So I want to play with that a little bit next league with the Heavy Strike build. So unless the patch notes have something magical, like an assassin rework or something like that, I think Heavy Strike is where it's at. Ooh, I survived a succumb. So even if I got 50% more cooldown reduction, I'm still only going to put this in like the 2 million range from what I'm guessing. I could be wrong on my guess. It could only be 500,000 right now, but it's feeling about a million. About a million deeps. I wonder if increased projectiles. I'm pretty sure only one projectile can hit per thing. I don't think all these projectiles are hitting. If they are all hitting, standing on them will be much more beneficial, but obviously you can't stand on this guy with all of his shenanigans. I don't know what kind of overlap I'm getting. Alright, we can clear that guy. Alright. Let's take a look at some of what I'm rocking here. Obviously, I am going Champion, Pathfinder, Saboteur, because those are all just really good. Pathing down this way, increased damage to uniques, some basic life. I'm grabbing this for the 12% mana reservation efficiency. I think this is the best node available because this 10% increase effect of non-curse auras on enemies works for Pride, and I'm rocking Pride, so this is actually a really tasty node for anyone down in this area. If you're not grabbing this, undervalued, very tasty. I'm grabbing this bad boy for the Impale effect and to give me rage. That's the Saboteur node. That's the Saboteur node. I'm rocking these bad boys just because I have a lot of physical damage. Cluster Jewels. So I'm rocking those with some Born of Chaos because I'm also rocking Divine Flesh, which will give me physical damage and double damage, physical damage and double damage. And beyond that, that's it. Then I'm just getting some pierce here, some triple pierce, some potion, and then another large cluster jewel for chaos res, life, armor, critical strike chance, and cooldown reduction. That is all the special stuff. Now, obviously, I can come over here and get these axe nodes. Those are pretty tasty axe nodes. But instead of getting the axe nodes, I decided to grab these just because I can get them all and get that instead. But if I had one more skill point, I'd probably come down to these axe nodes. Now, I'm grabbing this for the projectile damage because I kind of want projectiles to be the main source of damage. I'm grabbing 10% chance on hitting an enemy for all impales on that enemy to last for an additional hit. I think this is really good with Cyclone because your impales from your larger attacks are going to get reapplied from the Cyclone. Let's run a regular map. A waste pool, why not? I'm using my backup keyboard. My other one is drying off. I have this fucking dog. Well, my wife has this fucking dog, and it's part German Shepherd, and it is throwing hair everywhere. Everywhere. Nothing I can do about it. Vacuum daily, and there's still just hair everywhere. So I have this chonky mechanical keyboard with the clicky clickies, and there's dog hair in the clicky clickies, so the clicky clickies are kind of not working very well. So I had to fucking spray that shit out with the hose to get all that hair out. And it's drying off in the sunshine. So if I hit the wrong key, it's because I'm using my backup keyboard. My backup keyboard is not a clicky keyboard. I still don't really like the mechanical keyboards that much. I'm not quite used to them. I like the laptop style, the flat, lifeless keys that when you push it, it just instantly happens, and you don't only have to move it like a millimeter before it registers the click. You don't got that big, long click that everybody likes, and it's not loud. For some reason, whenever I touch a keyboard, it feels like I'm punching it, and everyone complains at the office, back when I worked in an office, so I couldn't use mechanical keyboards because they was too fucking loud. So I had to adapt to these laptop-style flat keys. And 10 years of using flat keys, I've gotten used to them. I like them. I don't know the advantages of a mechanical keyboard aside from being a noisy motherfucker, but you know, I figured I'd get one. I'm not a gamer if I don't have a mechanical keyboard, right? It's like mandatory. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Not gonna lie. In GL. But it's doable. Right? Nah, this ain't doable. I think Bone Zone Nova is only good as a supplemental effect. Arrow was correct in his assessment that would only be good as a supplemental damage dealer. And not exactly that good as the primary damage dealer. But you never know until you test it. I mean, obviously it works fine for T16. The bosses are a little rough, but I can throw in Vol, Ancestral, Totem. Maybe find a way to get a second curse for the bosses. Let's see if I can do a level 100. Level 100 on... What is this lead mechanic? Sentinel? Is that what we're on? Is that what that's called? Sentinel? I can't remember. Cannot remember. I'm not doing any stun shenanigans. I could do some stun shenanigans, but I'm not. I didn't feel like setting up stun mechanics, and I was running a little low on points. Just because you gotta travel so far, doing projectiles and attacks. But if I did the cheesy stun mechanics, my survivability would be much higher. Let's go to 100. Can I do a 100? What kind of damage mods? Attack speed? That's a little rough. At least there's no added damage mods. So I was going to say I probably won't get one shot, but I believe I just got one shot. Not good enough for 100. Kind of stay on the peripheral. Let those projectiles fly. Wait, am I getting hit by a meteor from the League mechanic? Or... I never know how I'm fucking dying. I might have accidentally clicked the use a meteor when you use a potion. And that's what's killing me. I'll have to look after I'm done fighting these boys. Into the League, I get a 3 Diviner on my weapon. That's gotta be, right? Yep, I'm dying from the meteor. I'm over here talking about how I can't do a 100, but it's really just the meteors killing me. I hate those League mechanics because I'm not good at reading. I read English as well as the British people speak English, which is not very well. I guess I could say Australian as well. Because, you know, Australians, when you're like, hey, say no, Australian person. And they're like, nar. You're like, no, it's N-O. No. One syllable. There's no R's. It's just N-O. And you're like, okay, I got it this time. Australian man. Nar. No, it's not nar. It's not nor. It's no. N-O. You don't need to say nar. And ever since I heard some dumb Australian chick say nar instead of no, I kind of find it funny now. So now I've been saying nar. My wife will ask me a question, I'll speak nar. And it's now how I say it. So fine, Australia, you win. It's no longer no, it's nar. Want me to cook some dinner? Nar! Actually, that's yes. I'm not gonna turn down no dinner cook. Okay. Well, I feel I gotta do another map. Simply because I want to do a 100 without these meteors killing me. And I'm just not gonna click any red stuff. Not gonna click any red stuff. We got a canyon. Rare, temporal chains, reflect elemental, less armor. That should be fine. I'm only doing like a tiny amount of elemental. Hopefully that's not enough to reflect and kill me. If it is, I'm gonna gnar right out of this map. And PoE is good. PoE is good. Come back from Diablo 4. This feels great. Diablo 4, it's mechanically better. I mean, the game's just built better. It's newer. Better game engine. But PoE still got that special place. Let's hope they can nail it with PoE 2. Which we won't be seeing for a very long time. God, this is so annoying. Having to do this shit. Well, you have one... There's always one guy punching you. That's just how it works. You're never gonna do that and have it be nice and clean. I mean... For the clear, it's really good. It's actually really good for the clear. And if you were to pump up the projectiles... Which I think he did in his video. He pumped up the projectiles. Mr. Arrow has the superior version of this product. I think I might benefit from a little bit. Let's do this. I'm gonna lose some damage here. Oh, nar. I need to use more regret orbs. Let's get some 10% leech. With with this potion here, I'm taking a lot of damage over time, and I'm not quite recovering it. Don't have enough recoup, and I don't have enough leech. So let's see if that pump up of the leech, that pump up of the jams, helps out. It's going to reduce my damage by quite a bit. But it should help with the regen. I'm hoping. Oh yeah, look at that life regen. Or not. I'm guessing that was just a punch. I can never see what hits me. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm never really looking at my character. I'm kind of looking where my mouse is. And my mouse wasn't where I was, where I died. Oh, he's just mad. What do you got? Soul Eater? Extra? Oh, he's critting? He's just mad. There's nothing I can do about it. He's like, nar, you're not going to kill me. Nar. Maybe temporal change is fucking me up. I do have less armor. So it's probably just physical damage and him being like, nar. Oh yeah, he's totally narring me. Let's see if I can manage to pick this up. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, down, down, down. And I'll hit you with some projectile. Damn, look how gnar he is. He's gnar as fuck. Don't gnar me. Keep following. I'll proc more boys. Oh, this is perfect. Get all this procking. Oh, he gnarred me. Okay, I'm gonna avoid that. I'm gonna avoid that. You never know what you're gonna get with those 100s. I got a master gnar. He's like a gnar fish. Gnar. Fucking goddamn Australians. It's never gonna get it out of my head. I'm just gonna be stuck with gnar. I wonder if that's how Spaniards feel about Mexico people. About Mexicans. Spaniards like, goddamn Mexicans, you're speaking the language wrong. Or vice versa. I don't know who owns the Spanish language. I'd imagine it would be Spain. Because, you know, Spanish, Spain. But I could be wrong. I mean, if you're just doing like a chill T16 and you don't care about trying to get 100 on those things, it does work. It is clearing it. Let's die over and over and over again to this Gnar fucker. Look at him. Gnar. There's nothing I can do to that guy. Alright, I gotta give it up. Gotta give it up. Right here. Gotta get to item sales for 3 additional divine orbs, even though I have nothing to do with those divine orbs because I'm done with this league. Let's see. Let's do, well, first let's switch to my main weapon here. Let's do some delve. With this bad boy. Mining encampment. Oh yeah, gnarring all over these guys. Now I could stack physical damage and a bunch of physical damage and ignore any of the axe damage and do a cast while channeling with exsanguinate and this bone. But splitting between attacks and spells and just pumping physical damage probably is not a good idea. So the best option is probably splitting steel. Maybe even bone hammer spell. I don't know what that spell is called. The one with the crunchy sound that everyone uses and abuses. Heavy strike, but better. Heavy strike with splash. What if they buff heavy strike, boys? I'm already planning on using it. What if it gets just a surprise buff? A built-in splash, increased range. Let's say give it that cleave treatment, +1 to AOE. That changed the game for Cleave. Cleave was basically an unusable skill. Then they pumped the range by 1, and then it became meta. They're like, Cleave, a skill no one uses. Let's give it +1 range, and then it's going to be the best. And they were right. Oh yeah, works fine for delve. A little slow. What should I do now? How should I test out this bone Zion? Actually, I'm done. Let's build it. It's gonna be impossible to figure out the damage from Bone Zone, but let's give it a shot. Import. Start. What am I? Make me cry, General Daddy? Yeah, that's me. Start in the tree. Make sure all this is selected, because some reason it doesn't select it. Alright, configuration. Always on low life. Yes, I am. Don't use those, don't use those. Do I have onslaught? I don't think so. I am fortified. I do have tailwind. Let's just put me at 50 rage. Why not? My flasks are active. I have. Sure, why not? Enemy is maimed. Enemy is blinded. Enemy is taunted. Are they intimidated? You bet your ash. They are not crushed. Maximum effect of pride. Enemy boss. Yeah, let's do Uber Pinnacle. Now, skills. Bone Nova, include in full DPS. So it is saying 153,000 for the Bone Nova. And you can imagine each one of those is hitting twice, maybe more. And there's extra buffs. It's not counting. I was probably pretty close with my 1 million DPS estimate. And let's include Cyclone in there. Cyclone. Right here. Including full deeps. Oh yeah, Cyclone ain't doing shit. Cyclone ain't doing shit. Cyclone is 100,000. God, they ruined Cyclone so hard. So hard. So yeah, Bone Nova is the primary damage dealer in this setup. If you really went ham on it, you really went hamburger sandwich, you didn't do any of the chaos res, I just put that in there because I had it, you might be able to squeeze out 2 million, but I think that is your upper limit on Bone Zone. I don't think it's going to be viable as your only damage dealer, unless there's some kind of gym setup that's going to take it to the next level, to push it to the limit, to make it NAR ready. I don't think it's it, Chief. I don't think it's it. Alright. It brought me back into PoE. I might make another build. Or I might go back to playing my nerdy JRPGs. I will check you guys later. Go check out his video. I'm going to remember to link it, hopefully. Mr. Arrow, his build is better. If you're going to try to Bone Zone, I recommend his version. It seems to be stronger. Let's recap and watch him kill this boss that killed me. Look at him do. Look at him go. Look at him go. He's wrecking that boss. He's probably even Ignite immune, unlike my ass. Alright, that is all. Check you boys later.